Good evening. Welcome to UMaine. My name is John Volland. I'm the provost here at the University of Maine and at the University of Maine at Machias. And I'm delighted to welcome you to the Maine Women's Hall of Fame and the Maryann Hartman Awards. It's the first time these two really celebratory events have come together. Maryann Hartman Award started in 1988, and the Maine Women's Hall of Fame started in 1990, so it's really special. I'd like to begin with the land acknowledgement. The University of Maine recognizes that it is located on Marsh Island in the homeland of the Penobscot Nation, where issues of water and territorial rights and encroachment upon sacred sites are ongoing. Penobscot homeland is connected to other Wabanaki tribal nations, the Passamaquoddy, the Maliseet, and the Micmac, through kinship, alliances, and diplomacy. The university also recognizes that the Penobscot Nation and other Wabanaki tribal nations are distinct, sovereign, legal, and political entities with their own powers of self-governance and self-determination. So we come together tonight, this evening, to honor and celebrate 4 extraordinary Mainers who have contributed meaningfully to and powerfully shaped, and continue to shape, I will add, communities across our state. It is a privilege to recognize and congratulate 4 Maine women of uncommon accomplishment and impact, which you'll hear about in just a little bit. For the Maine Women's Hall of Fame, that's Nancy Fritz, Julia McDonald. For the Maryann Hartman Awards, it's Marwa Hassanian and Kara Hay. Hopefully you have read the press release with the 4 bios, which go into their remarkable and impactful accomplishments in detail. You will also hear this evening from those introducing the honorees, as well as from the winners and inductees themselves. So before introducing the president, I wish to acknowledge the folks who put this evening together, beginning with the selection committee and those that did the actual nominations. Their names, of course, are listed on the program. And I want to thank and recognize the Futurama Foundation and its leadership for their sponsorship of this wonderful event and for partnering with us to join, for the first time, these 2 wonderful events, these awards. And I'd also like to just take a moment. These events, as you all know, if you've organized these things, often take a village, right? Certainly the selection committee and the nominees and all this, very important. But I would like to recognize the contributions of our special assistant, Jade Hitchborn, who as of last week is now Jade Smickle. Jade, are you here? Where? There's Jade, please stand up. Thank you, Jade. And Associate Provost for Academic Affairs and Faculty Development, Gabe Paquette. Gabe? Literally hundreds of hours by these 2 organizing this over the last year. It's been a year. And so I can't thank you enough for that. So it is now my privilege to introduce our president, Joan Farini Mundy. Joan?
Thank you, Provost Volland. Good evening, everybody. I can say good evening. This is a celebration, and as I look around the room and see the great smiles and so many folks here to honor our honorees, I just want everybody to remember it's a happy night, a happy occasion, and I couldn't be more pleased than to be able to welcome you to the University of Maine. Welcome you officially to the 2024 University of Maine Maryann Hartman Awards and Maine Women's Hall of Fame induction together at the same institution on the same night and on International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day. For almost 40 years, the Maryann Hartman Awards have been annually presented at the University of Maine to bring awareness and to recognize the accomplishments of distinguished Maine women. Named after Maryann Hartman, a former assistant professor and director of forensics who joined UMaine in 1969, for her impactful work as a teacher, scholar, mother, and advocate. And every year when we do this, I try to pull out a paper of Maryann Hartman's to read and to take a look, and she did some fascinating research on the stories of women in Maine and beyond. And I just love the chance for us to honor her in this way and to remember her great work. We have former winners of the Maryann Hartman Award in the audience, I suspect. Could people just raise their hands if they're a winner? All right. Congratulations. I would also like especially to thank Chris Hartman and Eric Hartman, two of Maryann Hartman's children who were able to join us today. Chris and Eric, are you here? Thank you. Thank you for being here. The Maine Women's Hall of Fame, as you know, was established in 1990 by the Maine Business and Professional Women, excuse me, and the Maine Futurama Foundation. And for 32 years, it has recognized women who've had a significant impact toward improving the lives of women throughout the state of Maine. Do we have former winners here? All right, congratulations and welcome. This is a pretty powerful room right here. I would also like to thank the Office of the Provost, the Selection Committee, the Maine Business and Professional Women Maine Futurama Foundation, our incredible University of Maine Jazz Band, they left, but maybe they're getting to eat, and our events team for organizing the event. And now let me just say a bit about the celebration we have tonight for these four distinguished women. Nancy Fritz, with her work as a social justice advocate. Julia McDonald, a medical and abortion rights leader. Marwa Hassanian, champion for promoting DEI in healthcare. And Kara Hay, an active advocate for family health. What an astounding career compilation of accomplishments for these four women who are being honored tonight. What a difference you have made in the state of Maine, well beyond the state of Maine, and for the future of the state of Maine and our nation and the world. So I would like another round of applause for these honorees. I'm honored to be in your presence. International Women's Day, a day for celebrating the social, economic, and cultural achievements of women and women around the world. I feel that at the University of Maine, in the category of how are we doing with women, we're in a very strong place. 50% of our students are women. Of our faculty, 47% are women. We have a number, yeah, those are good numbers. You should be happy. We have a number of deans and faculty leaders here, the majority of whom who are here tonight happen to be women. And so we'll give it a round to that table over there in the corner on International Women's Day. And we are here to celebrate women who are a driving force for positive change and an inspiration for women's equality and inclusion in all forms. Again, it's an honor to be with you. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the university. And let's have a terrific evening together. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It's really wonderful to be with you. My name is Gabe Paquette. I'm Associate Provost for Academic Affairs, and I just want to thank the President as well as the Provost for their introductory remarks and offer my congratulations to all of the winners and my gratitude to all of you for being here this evening. Kara Hay is not able to be here. Otherwise, I would present her with this certificate here. We will obviously make sure that she receives it. But I want to just tell you a little bit about Kara's remarkable accomplishments and the ways in which she continues to impact Maine communities, the way that she has, as well as the way she continues to. She is the president and CEO of Penquis, a nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting Maine individuals and families to be safe, healthy, connected, and financially secure. She is involved in numerous organizations in the community, including Bangor Area Community Health Leadership Board, Northern Light Acadia Hospital Board of Trustees, Community Housing Capital Board of Directors, and many more. And in recent years, she's won many awards, including a 2023 National Lyndon Baines Johnson Leadership Award from the National Community Action Partnership, a 2019 Practitioner of the Year Award, and a 2017 Emerging Leader Award from the National NeighborWorks Association. She has played a key role in the advocacy for various pieces of legislation, including Maine's LD3 legislation, which established winter energy relief payment, as well as finalized the COVID pandemic relief payment. And her work specifically has been to search for funding and seek assistance for unhoused individuals and families. So you're going to hear from Kara in a second, but her accomplishments are remarkable, and I think she deserves a round of applause, even in absentia. I'm going to try to play the video. Excuse me for any technical. Okay. All right, thank you.
Oh, the passcode.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start by expressing my deepest apologies for not being there in person tonight. As I suspect you can probably tell from my voice, one of these incredibly contagious winter sicknesses is currently paying me a visit, and at the most inopportune time. There is nothing that I would like more than to be there with you all. Please know that I am with you in spirit, and I am so thankful not to be spreading this to anyone else. I couldn't be more appreciative and humbled to be one of the 2 recipients of the 2024 Maryann Hartman Award. When I look at the list of previous inductees, as well as to Professor Maryann Hartman herself, all that she accomplished and that they accomplished, I am deeply struck by the perseverance, bravery, relentlessness, strength, and simple trailblazing that these leaders engaged in. To have a chance to be honored as someone who can stand among these incredible women is just outstanding. I'm deeply thankful to have my name put forward for consideration by the Executive Director of Maine Equal Justice Partners, Robin Merrill, who is herself the most profound of trailblazers. And I'm also so very thankful to the selection committee for considering my accomplishments worthy of this incredible recognition. Just thank you so much. To also know that Marwa, hi Marwa, I'm missing you. Such a treasured and deeply inspiring colleague and friend, is the other recipient of this award tonight. Lights my heart. Congratulations, Marwa. It is so deeply deserved. Congratulations also to the Maine Women's Hall of Fame recipients, Nancy and Julia. I have not had a chance to meet you, but reading your bios, I'm so awestruck by each of you and all that you have done for the people of Maine and for the people of the world. I am just humbled and honored to be recognized next to the 3 of you. Congratulations to each of you, and thank you for all of your incredible leadership and for all that you do for our communities. Now, as I know you all know, the Maryann Hartman Award recognizes women who are trailblazers and are strong advocates and who've improved the quality of life for people in Maine. Now, to me, being a trailblazer means you're willing to go places no one else has gone, that you push for what's right no matter what resistance you receive, that you show what's possible and the steps needed to get there, that you inspire others with boldness, fearlessness, originality, generosity of heart, and persistence, and then you create change, that you give all you can to make the world a better place, always keeping the most vulnerable in the center of your heart. As trailblazers, we've accomplished so much, and there is still so much more to be done. As I give these remarks, I feel such a deep grounding in knowing that I stand among thousands of trailblazing, phenomenal women leaders who are all endlessly committed to improving the lives of Maine people. And this gives me such hope and inspiration for those we serve. For I know with all of my heart that, as stated by Mother Teresa, I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. Together, we can create the needed ripples to fix broken systems, address inequities, foster openness and understanding, and therefore ultimately improve Maine lives. I believe this with all of my heart and soul, and this award has given me the deepest of renewed commitment to scaling up my trailblazing efforts in a way that creates the most impactful ripples possible in our great state. I could not be more thankful. Thank you so much.
Wow, well, I'm honored to be speaking after this amazing presentation, and I'm thrilled to be able to announce our second Maryann Hartman Award winner, Marwa Hassanian, who I had the pleasure to just meet in person today, but who I chatted with for an hour over Zoom. And so welcome everybody. My name is Elizabeth Neiman. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm an associate professor of English and also Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies here at the University of Maine, and I'm the director of the Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies program. And I've been thrilled to be a part of this committee. It's actually my first year on the committee in this really formative inaugural year where we're bringing together two different awards. And I had the pleasure of being part of conversations about what it meant to have these two different awards at the same time, how they differed from each other. The Maryann Hartman Awards, of course, is meant to celebrate and honor women whose achievements have really elevated the lives of other women. And we received such an astounding and exciting list of nominees, but Marwa rose up to the top very quickly, was unanimously voted to be one of our two awardees, and for many reasons, for which I'll explain shortly. So in speaking with Marwa over Zoom, I had the opportunity to talk with her about many of her achievements. And what stood out to me among many different, just this list of just different things, is she talked a lot about her family. Not only the family who's here, but also, I believe, her people who aren't here, her parents. Are your parents here? Okay. Her parents, who are first-generation Americans, her mother who did not speak English, but who had left an engineering background to support her own, to support her father and her family. And as Marwa put it, she saw her mother juggle it all and with cultural and linguistic barriers. And it struck me in talking with Marwa about her work as the Associate Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at Northern Lights, and also her work at on the Bangor School Board since 2019, that she's just been really shaped by this family environment and by her parents. And she received an impassioned letter by her colleagues at Northern Lights about just all of her qualifications. And what really struck me too was Marwa shared with me, her family moved here in 2005, at point of which she did a lot of volunteer work with Muslim communities and communities of color on breaking stigma, work with naturalization and immigration services in Portland. She gave all sorts of presentations, including at Northern Lights. And it was that kind of work that led her to seem to be the perfect candidate for this new job at Northern Lights. And that was when she began working there in DEI. And that also, in 2019, she joined the Bangor School Board. And interestingly enough, it was shortly after starting at the school board that the Bangor School District did receive a number of complaints from Black students about racist incidences at the school. And Marwa shared with me how she just quickly took action, and she just really helped to be the principal mover, I think, behind a series of policy changes at the schools that have led to transform Bangor High into a more equitable learning environment. And that has modeled for the state what culturally responsive teaching looks like. And I know she still has two children who are in the Bangor schools. I do as well. I'm really happy to have my children at a school district that has been reshaped so profoundly since 2019. And all of this on top of still working on everything but the dissertation, a PhD here at UMaine in literacy education, and being a mother of 4. And I said to her, how do you do it all? And she said, well, don't we all? That's what we all do as women. So one of the key questions that we had as a committee in working on these awards was, what does it mean to be a recipient of the Maryann Hartman Awards in the third decade of the 21st century? And I think I learned a lot from talking to Marwa. I saw how important it still is, how important representation still is, how much it matters. Marwa, as she shared with me, was the first Muslim woman and the first person of color to serve on the Bangor School District School Board, and just the importance of having students across from pre-K all the way to 12th grade know that they're being represented by someone who might have interests that are close to their own heart. It was so meaningful to her. And so representation matters, and women, as their identities intersect with class, sexuality, race, as in a rapidly diversifying country, a diversifying Maine. I mean, what could be sort of a better point of representation than someone like Marwa and the work that she does? I also learned how important it is to be moved by others and to be excited by others. And I felt this way in watching this video, but also in talking with Marwa, and it's my pleasure and honor to present to you an award. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. What an honor and a pleasure to be here with you all tonight. So as you all know by now, my name is Marwa Hassanen, and I really want to thank President Fernini Mundi, the University of Maine, the selection committee. I am truly humbled and honored and proud to be here with you all tonight. I can't even begin to tell you what this means to me to stand here before you, here with my husband Tarek, my children Adam, who's a student here at UMaine as well, Jenna and Kareem, two of my best friends and my dear sisters, Dina and Penny, and with all of you incredible women, to accept this award on International Women's Day. How amazing. And to be here with Nancy, who I met tonight. Kara is such a dear friend and a colleague that I work very closely with. I haven't met Julia yet, but to be in such powerful company is just, something that makes my heart so happy. It's bursting with such pride tonight. And I do dedicate this amazing award to my mother, Nadia, who unfortunately is in Oklahoma, couldn't be with me tonight, but who is my forever role model and hero, and to all women in this room and outside of this room who empower us, uplift us, and champion us always, every single day. So how does a small town Muslim girl from Oklahoma, who is a daughter of Egyptian immigrants who couldn't speak a single word of English when they first arrived, become the Associate Vice President of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, leading 10 hospitals and more than 100 healthcare facilities throughout Maine? Co-chair its Equity and Inclusion Council alongside the organization's CEO. This girl whose parents came to the U.S. in search of the American dream and had their children translate everything for them because they didn't speak English well, end up becoming a subject matter expert in her field, working with businesses, nonprofit organizations, school districts, and healthcare systems across the state. That same little girl who ended up becoming the first woman of color and chairwoman of the Bangor School Committee for the past 3 years. Well, I'll tell you how. It's a beautiful testament to an amazing community, to a wonderful organization, and many incredible colleagues who believed in her, made space for her, mentored her, and empowered her to accomplish her goals, championed her diverse perspectives, and respected her contributions regardless of her identities. John Maxwell, the country's #1 leadership expert, is quoted as saying, "The single best way to impact an organization is to focus on leadership development. There is almost no limit to the potential of an organization that recruits good people, raises them up as leaders, and continually develops them." According to Maine's 10-year economic plan, we know that Maine needs 75,000 workers by 2029. We have an aging workforce, and unemployment in Maine that's at an all-time high. So as we look to help our workforce, we really need to understand and uplift and elevate all issues of DEI. It is also helpful to keep in mind that diverse teams boost creativity and innovation, allow for better decision-making, and creates greater opportunities for professional growth. Research indicates that celebrating diversity and creating organizational principles that are culturally literate and that openly respect and value individuals' various and intersectional racial, ethnic, sexual, age, and gender differences is far more beneficial than taking just a color-blind approach in which we ignore those identity-based differences. So creating high-quality DEI programs empowers us to deliver inclusive, culturally competent services and really creates organizations and cultures that will attract and retain outstanding talent. We've seen the steady increase in individuals becoming more awakened and having more education and reflection to the struggles of those in marginalized communities face on a daily basis. While this is a great start, more needs to be done to bring forth systemic change to really bring the whole workforce into alignment. I believe this is exactly what Northern Light Health is doing for its employees. As the first ever DEI Associate Vice President, I get to work with over 12,000 employees, not only making sure that we are promoting health equity, addressing disparities, improving employee experiences with patient care, and impacting positive outcomes, but also establishing a clear vision, recruiting good talent, and raising them up as leaders. We effectively communicate our mission daily and lead with integrity, empathy, and compassion. We commit to fostering diverse and inclusive environments where people from all backgrounds are included, valued, and respected, and we hold everyone accountable to those standards as well. We believe our workforce and patient care are directly connected and that our diversity makes us smarter, stronger, and better able to serve our community compassionately and effectively. There are many lessons that I've learned along my way and along this journey, but I think the single most important factor that has made my role so impactful is my ability to be an authentic team member and leader, someone who brings her true, vulnerable self to work every single day. It is paramount that we show genuine interest in who people are, not only appreciating them and giving them opportunities, but truly understanding who they are as people and what they hope to achieve. So in conclusion, the best leaders and organizations who stand by bold leadership are the ones who understand everyone's strengths, to amplify them, connect them with team members by facilitating open communication, and encourage employee growth by equipping them with the tools that they need. They listen actively to understand what others are saying, rumble with their vulnerabilities, and avoid lack of open-mindedness. So let's cultivate these powerful synergies together that really drive improvement, nurture a healthy culture, and create a sense of belonging and engagement amongst our team members. This is exactly how we develop solid organizations for strong future leaders who serve their communities with integrity, passion, and determination, and who really make a difference in their communities. Just like that small town girl, daughter of Egyptian immigrants, who couldn't speak a word of English when they first arrived in the United States. Thank you.
I'm now delighted to welcome Dr. Beth Clark to come to the podium. Thank you, Beth. And there you go.
Good evening. On behalf of the Waterville branch of the American Association of University Women and the Unitarian Universalist Community Church of Augusta, it is an honor to introduce Nancy E. Fritz. Nancy represents the best of what women give to their families and to their communities. Nancy is a tireless advocate for social justice. She began volunteering with families experiencing domestic violence while simultaneously working on a bachelor's degree in human development from the University of Maine and a master's of divinity from Bangor Theological Seminary. This eventually led to her role as executive director of the Family Violence Project, where she challenged the social norms that allowed the family violence to exist and helped to professionalize the role of workers working in the family violence field. She also served as executive director of the Coastal Community Action Program, an anti-poverty agency providing weatherization and fuel assistance, Head Start, child care, and a retired senior volunteer program. Later appointed by Governor Baldacci, she became statewide director of homeless initiatives while also serving as director of the homeless department at the Maine State Housing and chair of the statewide Homeless Council. She made homelessness visible to society when the rest of us only saw the tip of the iceberg. She is an extraordinary leader. She makes significant and lasting changes to strengthen organizations, focus on their missions, and increase the efficacy of their work. She sees every individual as a person of dignity and worth, with the ability to grow and change. She listens carefully. She mentors. Her employees see clear expectations. She develops effective policies, procedures, and job descriptions, and networks with other agencies. While she was director of the Children's Center in Augusta, the agency narrowed its scope of services to early childhood who were not covered by the school system. She expanded the definition of health to include social and emotional health. The agency now provides a spectrum of multidisciplinary services. Nancy is an initiator. She was a founding member of the Maine Affordable Housing Authority, and in the early 1980s, she helped to start the Maine Lesbian and Gay Political Alliance, which came to be known as Equality Maine. She was part of the original group that created the Maine Health Access Foundation. For 7 years, she served on the board as well as the Grants and Finance Committee. She helped distribute available funds to focus on providing housing and adequate food as fundamental to health. Nancy is an outstanding volunteer. She spent 10 years as Augusta Housing Authority Commissioner and was also on the boards of the Maine Economic Policy Center and the Maine Association of Nonprofits. She holds a myriad of roles in her church. These include being co-leader of the holiday fair, and with the effort of 70 individuals, they netted over $6,000. This is her 8th year and a second round as church treasurer and grant writer. As she nears her 80th year, she still volunteers for Meals on Wheels, helps with community breakfasts for the homeless, and is a mentor for Money Minders, the program through Senior Spectrum. She focuses on helping others achieve basic security and stability in order to have access to the privileges that we all take for granted. The sewing group she leads at the Cohen Center and the UU Church are open to people at all levels of ability. She shares her skills in creating simply exquisite quilts and counted cross-stitch pieces. These gatherings are also a place where women gain social support and discuss political ideas in a safe and welcoming atmosphere. Nancy's family includes her wife, Jane, 3 children, 4 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. Nancy E. Fritz is a beautiful person in mind, body, and spirit. Her warm greeting and lovely smiles puts anyone at ease. She can also do what many women struggle to emulate. She speaks of her accomplishments with acknowledgement and pride, yet does not diminish others. She does so with humility and with love. Nancy? It's such a pleasure to do this. You want to take this out?
Oh, yeah, I think we have to do that. No, you have to leave it here. He has to take them.
Oh, my goodness.
You have to
I'm
have
going
it.
to get that.
Oh, have to send it to you? He gave me instructions.
Oh, this way. Oh, wait, let me put this down. I'm going to try this again. There we go.
We've got it.
We got it now.
When I drove on to this campus earlier this evening, I was reminded of the first time I came to the University of Maine at Orono, and it was in 1979, and I came here as a student. So it's been a long time since I was on campus for very much. 70 plus years ago, as a young girl growing up in Nebraska, I believed my life would mirror my mother's and the other women in my family. Get married young, have children, host family gatherings, follow my husband as his career progressed, and probably living out my life in my hometown of Fremont, Nebraska. And I did all these things for 15 or more years. So what changed the trajectory of my life? And it was moving to Maine in 1978 to embark on an educational path that involved risk-taking, meeting other women with their hopes and dreams, learning to be of service to others, learning the importance of finding and belonging to a community that was different than any that I had ever experienced. Somewhere along the life, I set aside that earlier life that I had treasured. This new life involves self-determination, growing my own sense of spirituality, figuring out what was most important to me, and coming to understand my lesbian identity. I often reflect on the changes that I've witnessed these past 40 years, and many have been positive, almost all of them propelling us into a better future. But as the other speakers said, there is still so much more to do. Our homeless population is soaring. It's tripled in the last 3 years here in Maine. Women's reproductive freedom and control over their own bodies is in jeopardy. The addiction crisis grows daily. Childcare is non-existent for many, and the effects of racism and our own complicity still influences us. We need to ask ourselves, what is my passion? How can I make life better for women and girls in Maine? And so when their lives are better, so will be the lives of men and boys. What can I do today, this year, next year? Will I volunteer at a local food bank, read to children in a classroom, reach out to my neighbor who is struggling, mend clothes or do laundry for someone without housing, testify before the legislature, serve meals to folks without enough food, or get elected to my local school board? Many of us live with great privilege, and I do. And with this privilege comes great responsibility. About 20 years ago, author Peter Block wrote a book titled, "The Answer to How is Yes." And each of us can say yes to something that makes a difference in our community, our family, our faith community. We can stop this endless conversation about how to do something or whether something is possible, and we can just start doing it. I challenge each of us to continue saying yes. Yes, I will do that. I can do that. I thank you for this award, and I am truly humbled and honored.
It's now my honor to invite Dr. Constance Adler, a member of the Maine Women's Hall of Fame class of 2016, physician from Farmington, and now board chair of Grandmothers for Reproductive Rights, to join me. Thanks so much.
So I'm supposed to introduce Julia McDonald. You're about to see a video that she made to address you, and that will tell you so much more about her, better than her CV, better than I can do. But I will say this, because it really applies to tonight too. It is one of the great joys of being an elder, to pass the torch to another generation of women, like the women you're seeing tonight. To watch fabulous women charge ahead and surpass what we could do. It's really just a thrill. Thus, it's been an enormous fun for me to know Julia McDonald, Dr. McDonald, first as an aide at family planning, Maine Family Planning, then as a medical student, then she became a respected physician educator, an abortion provider at Maine Family Planning and at Mabel Wadsworth Clinic, and now a national icon of reproductive rights and justice for women and for the LGBTQ community. And as her leadership has continued to expand, we kept talking at various events, which if you knew Julia, you would realize how funny that is, because I don't even come up to her shoulder. So it's really always a great scene when we're together. But she called one day to talk about doing international work as a physician with MSF, with Doctors Without Borders. And we spoke about the importance of not just giving care, but about training the people who live in under-resourced countries so that they can give the care. And I have been so impressed at what she accomplishes teaching obstetrics and abortion care in Africa. She's now in the Central African Republic, which is why she couldn't be here tonight, but she was in Ethiopia during the Civil War. She's been in the Congo, training people to save women's lives. And also by her courage of fearlessly championing in the national media here the work the physicians in this country must face to bring abortion care to people who need it. If you saw the news today, the Ann Perry, who used to be my nurse practitioner, Ann Perry introduced a bill in the legislature this year that would protect, it's a shield law that would protect providers here as they give care to women who have to come from other states to get abortion care. And they had a bomb threat. They threatened to bomb her house. That's what everybody faces now doing this work. And Julia has been fearless. So in addition to introducing Julia, I want to thank the committee that chose this year's Hall of Fame inductees. It would be easy to avoid controversial issues like abortion and reproductive justice, but you didn't. So thank you. Thank you from Julia, thank you from me, and thank you from the women of Maine, whom we celebrate today on International Women's Day and always. You want me to bring this to Julia, right?
Yes, please, or I can mail it to her. Thank you so
no,
much.
I'll see her as soon as she
Okay.
gets home.
Okay. Renewing my struggle with technology here. Oh, here we go.
It seems amazing to me to join the ranks of my heroines, Governor Janet Mills, Senator Margaret Chase Smith, Mabel Wadsworth, and Ruth Lockhart, Dale McCormick, Karen Heck, Laura Portman, and so many other women in whose footsteps I follow. The world of reproductive health feels like it is changing constantly these days. Since recording an initial video of acceptance for tonight back in February, Alabama ruled that embryos created through IVF be granted the rights of children, which effectively shut down assisted reproductive technology in that state. CVS and Walgreens will start dispensing mifepristone, one of the pills used in abortion care. And maternal mortality disparities in the U.S. continue to rise. I'm unable to be there with you in Maine tonight because I'm currently working in the Central African Republic, a country with one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the world. Unsafe abortion, one of the only causes of maternal mortality that is entirely preventable, causes up to 30% of the deaths here. I have held workshops and trainings around the country, hearing stories of sisters, aunts, and schoolmates who have died unnecessarily from unsafe, non-medical abortion. One woman pulled my sleeve and murmured in my ear, this is what women use, as she showed me a stick from a manioc plant. So when I read news of reproductive health care restrictions in the United States, I become enraged. We have seen again and again around the world, in Romania, India, Ethiopia, South Africa, and other countries, that restrictive laws only increase the suffering and potential harm of clandestine abortions. And the burden of suffering falls on the most vulnerable humans, poor people, young people, Black, brown, and indigenous people, non-English speakers, and immigrants. Countries and states with more liberal laws have better maternal health outcomes. I am so proud of Maine.
Not for our internet connection.
Laws have better maternal health outcomes. I am so proud of Maine.
We have to.
What an honor to be inducted into Maine's. Countries and states with outcomes. I am so proud of Maine for offering comprehensive sexual education, ensuring access to contraception, and protecting abortion access. When families can plan and space their pregnancies, parents and babies are healthier, families are more financially secure, and communities are stronger. It is not false humility to acknowledge how many other women and femme-presenting Mainers are just as deserving of this honor. I think of the nurses, clinical assistants, front office staff, and counselors with whom I work. They drive from all around the state to hold space, hold hands, hold kids, hold tissues for patients. These are the women who taught me how to be an excellent patient-centered primary care doctor. Those women belong in the Hall of Fame. I have sought out opportunities to provide trauma-informed sexual and reproductive health care around the world, from teaching about contraception throughout Central America to safe birthing practices in Ghana, from delivering babies in public hospitals in Mexico to teaching safe abortion care in Eastern Africa. I speak vagina and uterus in many languages. And wherever I go, I am always astonished by the strength of women, the power of the femme, the resilience of us. I have a foot in two worlds. There, in that well-resourced, safe state of Maine, I take care of all ages of patients and work to build a stronger future by teaching medical students, residents, and allied healthcare professionals how to provide primary care, including safe abortion care. And then, I have the great honor to travel into low-resource communities, often in service of populations experiencing catastrophic violence, humanitarian emergencies, and devastating conflicts to do the same, to doctor, one patient at a time, and teach, train, and uplift the work of others, each of whom deserves their own Hall of Fame. Tonight, I wish you all a powerful International Women's Day. I want to thank all of the people who lifted up my accomplishments for this nomination and award, especially Dr. Adler, the staff of Maine Family Planning, Maine Dartmouth Family Medicine Residency, and Maine Safe Fund. Thank you also to BPW, Maine Futurama Foundation, and the Provost and Assistant Provost of University of Maine for this great honor. Let's keep working together for a strong and healthy future.
I'll keep this brief since I'm the only thing standing between you and dinner and a good jazz band, but I'd like to, one further round of applause for all of the recipients of the Hartman Award and inductees to the Maine Women's Hall of Fame. have a wonderful celebratory evening. Thanks so much for coming.